Happy game week, everybody. We all got to enjoy a bye week, so we're going to dive into ball here on the Sooner or Later Sports Show, a Hog Media production. That is, of course, Coop. I'm Jay. Thanks for pulling up here on the YouTube channel and listening wherever podcasts are downloaded and listened to while you're here. Please wipe your feet and like, subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars. Don't think we deserve it? Go ahead and give us 5 anyway. Gifted. So on today's show, we got a lot of fun stuff that we're going to dive into. Like, for real, we got a lot of fun stuff to talk about, like the Kent State game. We're going to talk about a few commitments that also have come down the line for 27. We're going to talk about the latest injury updates. We got to get Coop's opinion on what BV and Arbuckle said. And then, of course, we're going to talk about what's going on in the SEC in college football this week. It's been a fun and entertaining last few days. Coop, happy Wednesday, my man. How's it going?
I'm glad I was not in an airport, kind of like yourself. So I'll say it's good here.
No. Yeah, you're right, because first and foremost, shout out to the TSA folks that all decided to come to work today with everything else going on. I was a little nervous that your boy wasn't going to be able to come home. Figured I was going to have to go ahead and just give me another hotel room, stay another night, and fly out tomorrow morning, which would have been terrible. Have plans on Thursday. And you guys deserve to get the full version of my voice, because I try to be a little quiet when I'm in those hotel rooms. Just I feel like it's a little disrespectful to be screaming like I normally would on the mic. But, now I'm home and I can feel free and alive. But I do want to start off by first off thanking you all. You all have been doing wonders. We've been doing numbers. Y'all blessed us with y'all's time, your patience, with your criticisms, your feedbacks. You've given it all to us, and we appreciate that, because without you, we ain't right here. And so there'll be evolutions to the game. Will be evolutions to what we're doing. God dog it. And there was a commitment as soon as we start the dang show. I was not prepared for that. So it sounds like we're going to have to go ahead and talk about a
breaking news. This just in. Right? I'm gonna have to go find it, because I haven't, like, how does this happen when I'm not ready for it? Let me look this up, because I ain't synced anything yet. Like what is this? Like we for real got. Oh gosh, I'm going to look. I'm gonna look now. I know I'm trying to start. Yep, there he is. Colin Kennedy has posted it. Braden Allen, a wide receiver from Louisiana, Lafayette Christian Academy, 3-star wideout that was committed to Tulane, picked the Sooners over Colorado. We got that commitment. It just popped up out of nowhere. Like, I was really going to go talk about other stuff, so it looks like I'm going to have to start searching for I'm going to get his film up. We will come back to this, but Coop, I'm going to get you give your initial thoughts on this commitment first, and then we'll break it down in about a segment or two. Yeah. I mean, this is one that they've been going after for a little bit. Been committed to Tulane for a little while now, and Tulane's actually had some dudes run through there. Currently you've got I'm check my math on this, but Brazel, the kid that's over at Tennessee, and I think leading the SEC in receiving. I believe he was a Tulane guy. I think we got him a few years back, and we had to play up against him. But 6'1", 175, great route runner.
Chris Brazel. Yeah, let me see. Let me verify that for you. Yep, he was at Tulane for 2 years. Yes, sir.
Bang! I just remember us going up against him, and was it the quarterback that they had at that point? I mean, he was balling. He was right before the Mensa kid. But anyway, Brazel was he's a great wide receiver. And so a lot of places been after Braden Allen for a minute, and got to think that dude coming out of the Louisiana, that's going to be a good get for the team. And so you add some more size, another guy that's got some wiggle to him. He can play a little bit larger than your smaller wide receiver. So I'm really excited. This one, they've been working on this one for about 4 or 5 weeks now.
They have been working on him for a while, and of course, shout out to our boy Topher, who of course pops in here and lets us know that he went ahead and committed. So we'll look at the film in a minute. I have to go gather the film now because, like I said, I was not prepared for this to happen. I just got off a plane and wanted to thank you all for being patient with us because we pushed everything back 30 minutes. But so yeah, we appreciate y'all being here with us. So I want to start off with this though. This is what intrigued. Yeah, I got his highlights, T. I'm going to go grab them in just a minute. While me and Coop are talking about a few of the other things, I'll pull it up. I'll have it ready, and we'll walk through that because we've also going to talk some recruiting as well. We'll talk about the other pickups from the 2027 class. So we've got a lot of things that we're going to jump into. So welcome to Oklahoma, Mr. Braden Allen. I appreciate him pulling up. But I wanted to talk more so. I wanted to lead off with this. I got to say, Sooner Nation, I love y'all. I love everything about you guys. Y'all are hands down, bar none, the best fan base in America because the stuff that y'all be doing and y'all have done over the last week and a half with the Dr. Shin stuff, with the John Mateers stuff. I don't think I've ever seen any fan base that would ever do the things that y'all did. I appreciate this. It got so weird now that not only did we have a fan go there to the hospital and drop off some Sooner gear to thank the man for the surgery that he was performing, you've got other fan bases posting in other fan bases boards to give intel. We've got a tortilla presser that has information that we didn't know about. Now, let me preface and explain for the uninitiated, because there's a lot of you that are initiated in the social media games and you know what's going on. But for the uninitiated, let me explain to y'all what went down. So, a tortilla presser says they had a Aggie, a Texas A&M Aggie had relevant news. It says, John Mateer is going to play against Texas. And this is what he said. I was in Chipotle tonight in Norman, Oklahoma, and Mateer was in line in front of me. The tortilla presser asked Mateer how his hand is doing, and Mateer said, great. Then Mateer then said he is 100% going to play versus Texas. Here's hoping Mateer leads the Sooners to a shutout, the Horns. Now, I've seen some folks ask the question as to why would these Ag fans care without realizing that they hate Texas, so of course they care. Anything that hurts Texas helps them. That is like 100% the rule in this. This is what rivalries do. But you've got fans from other bases doing that. And so, of course, we all took this as a grain of salt. We thought it was funny. As you can see, Killer Horse right here saying, of course he said that, right? Yeah, we all was thinking that. But then, the next thing that pops up, Coop, is the tortilla presser took a picture with John Mateer. So I'm just telling you now, this is what's hilarious about all of this, dog. Like, you got somebody jumping in and talking about this in a freaking message board, and we're laughing at it because we think it's ridiculous. Then the dude posts a picture. That tortilla presser is my youngest. He's a junior at OU, and his old man is an Aggie class of '88. This is the best sport out there, hands down, and the funniest thing I think I've seen in a while. Coop, now that I'm done my long rant and I've set the stage for you, talk to the people.
As long as Mateer doesn't punch a quesadilla, I'm completely fine with this. Because when you abuse Mexican food, Tex-Mex, whichever nomenclature you want to attach to it, things don't happen well. So I'm wondering, like, did Mateer get a mobile order, or did he show up and was he ordering his bowl, as they were cruising? So, But yeah, no, I'm with you. And there's national people picking up these things. These stories are going nationally. Was talking with a guy, at work, and so I work, with USA Today, and so I'm kind of all over the place. And I had somebody up from Wisconsin was like, "Hey, dude, did y'all really have a fan like fly out to California and track down your quarterback while he was in surgery?" And I was like, "No, I think he lived there, but the rest is true."
Yes.
So these people are picking it up from all over the country.
It's
they know
bananas.
They know my affiliation, as you can see. If I do a conference call with a big client, the stuff that you see in the background's there too. I wear OU hats and shirts and stuff all the time, and so people know who I am when it comes time to that. That sounded a little more cocky and brash than I intended it to, but people know that the affiliation with Oklahoma. So pretty funny. But yeah, it's because I'll say this, like, being a guy who has been injured, has had several knee injuries, followed this stuff for a long time. I would love to punch a quesadilla, PG. But I 100%, maybe a ninja kick. I'm not quite sure, but, being a guy who follows the injuries and stuff like that, like, I could probably only say that I only knew Dr. James Andrews was probably the only other name I ever had, because I've had, fans, teams that I've rooted for about to go into like the World Series with the Cardinals. Guys did surgery on Kurt Schilling. Obviously right before we played Alabama in the Orange Bowl, I believe, the Tua Kyler Bowl, Tua had his ankle surgery. That's sugar. So, but regardless, there's all these things that come up, and we've always been on the downside of these situations. We've always had somebody who got a Lazarus effect and all of a sudden went from not playing to, being an All-American, to playing against us. So I'm ready for that quesadilla to flip, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, shout out to the quesadilla presser for actually popping that out there, man. That is still one of the funniest things I think I've seen come from this fan base. Outside of the 8 million memes that we've got, like, at some point I'm gonna gather them before. Actually, I'm gonna do that for sometime next week before the Texas game. I'm gonna put a compilation of all of the Dr. Shin memes y'all put together. I've got a note on my laptop, on my computer, that has I probably have like 20 links to Twitter of y'all putting stuff up, dog. I gotta say, I appreciate
it's a beautiful
how well you guys do this. So, okay, now that is done, there's so many updates that we have to talk about. So thank y'all for pulling up. Hit the like button. New to the channel, subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars. We're going to talk about Braden Allen now. I finally found some of his footage. Shout out to Sooner D. He gave me a link of a video of his huddle film that's actually on X that I can quickly get a hold of. We're gonna play that so y'all can enjoy seeing Kim. Before we do that, let's pay this bill. You think you know ball? If you do, put your knowledge to the test. Check out Sleeper, one of the best daily fantasy football apps out there in the industry. They've got some of the best promos as well as some of the best options in daily fantasy. What you do is 2 or more players, pick more or less on their statistics, touchdowns, receiving yards, anytime touchdowns, and then you can take advantage of one of their promos where they'll give you like half a yard on a passing on a quarterback that is going to play in the game. So check them out. Use our promo code UNFAIR and you will get 100% match on your first deposit up to $100. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Once again, thank y'all for pulling up. Let's talk Braden Allen. Now, so for the uninitiated about him, and that was the other thing I needed to grab, Braden Allen. We're going to pull up his on-3 so we know exactly where he's rated by everybody. He's a 3-star. Consensus composite. A lot lower rated than I would have expected. He's extremely athletic. I think he's more raw, and that's probably why. His offer sheet, though, is still quite impressive. So consider top 600. He's a top 100 wide receiver in the country, and there's a ton of those. He's got the Ole Misses of the world, Oklahoma's, Colorado, Texas Tech threw a little money at him. Vandy was looking at him. So not the most extensive list, but he's 6'1", 175. So there's talent there. But this is we're gonna look at a little bit of the film. And when I watched him myself as I was prepping for him to potentially commit somewhere, he's going to commit either here or Colorado, because those are the two schools that really had his attention. But the breakaway speed is kind of ridiculous. I see the camera couldn't even keep up. Dude just dipped on him. He's got, like I said, he's got that nice size, and he's one that we're going after bigger receivers that we can get our hands on them, especially those with speed and those that do track. He ran 11.58 in the 100 and set a season best for him in triple jump rep of 45.825. So track and basketball. Coop, what you thinking? How you feeling?
I mean, first and foremost, when he's out and he's running, you see the smoothness, you see the body control. Like sometimes those are things that are hard to really teach a wide receiver. When he's got longer arms, so he gives you a good catch radius. He's not going to be a 4-3 threat or anything like that, but he does have that great body control. And when you have that ability to run, fluidly, it does not give your routes away. So I think this is another guy with great, possession capabilities. You look at Keontez Lewis and what he's doing with us currently. He's a guy who has great hands, great body control. He also runs really fluidly. So, you're not going to right off the get, I'm not going to say that this is a guy that's going to run like Hollywood Brown, and this is not a guy that's going to, be a massive frame, like a maybe like a Marvin Harrison Jr. or something like that. But he's just a dude who goes out and does his job and catches the ball. And again, multi-sport athlete. There were a lot of people, he decided to start looking around. There are a lot of people, wanting him to come in and have some of that conversation, to come to their school. And I point out Chris Brazzell, who is now the leading receiver in the SEC and up there at Tennessee right now. And there's a guy who also committed to Tulane, had a lot of potential. So you add him into the guys that we already have. You're needing a few more wide receivers. You're going to lose a couple guys to eligibility, and so getting another guy in here, that's really what you're looking for.
Yeah, he looks like a possession guy. And of course, don't get it twisted. He's not going to be the only receiver we're going to get or whatnot for this class. I know that we are working on a few more. But it's good to have somebody that has good possession capabilities. No, he's not the fastest guy in the world. 11.58 that's what 4.8, 4.9-ish area. He could probably, he's 6'1", 170, 6'1", 6'2-ish, 175, 180. The good thing is that he's got looks like football speed. Like you put the pads on, he just outrun. He's outrunning defenders there in Louisiana. So we'll see what it looks like, but I'm glad that we added ourselves another player. So thank y'all again for pulling up. Hit the like button. If you are new to the channel, subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars. Cool. We got a lot of updates that came from BV's presser, and I think that this was probably more pressing information. We'll talk more recruits at the end of everything, but of course injury updates. We talked about this last week in excitement, and it's something to continue the excitement of because we've got our confirmation, Coop. We have got the confirmation that we have been looking for, that Giovanni Gibson as well as Eli Bowen are practiced during the bye week. They're practicing this week, and they will make their first appearance in their Sooner jerseys. First time ever for Giovanni, and first time this season for Eli Bowen against Kent State. Talk to me. When I think about this, when I look at this situation, all I see is positives, especially for Michael Hawkins, since he's going to be the quarterback, and we know that he's going to probably show out against Kent State. It's Kent State, guys. He's going to show out. But you got arguably your number one wide receiver, and I'm saying arguably because he was the one that you heard the most about in fall camp as a dude was flashy. That wasn't anything against Satania, anything against Keontez Lewis, or anything against Deion Burks, or even Zion Kearney, or any of the other guys. It was more of he gets on the field, you're like, oh, okay, that he's a dude. And after the injury, now he's out there. And then, of course, Eli, we know his capabilities. We saw him shadowing Ryan Williams. So you're probably going to get a little bit more veteran presence at corner to go with Cortland to help Cortland continue to develop. And, Gentry being healthy, Kendall Dolby as well. So what are you thinking about those two coming back, and how do you think that impacts the team against Kent State in preparation also for the Texas game?
Yeah, coming out of the Auburn game, that was one of the first news pieces that dropped was both those guys are going to be out there getting ready and going. For the Auburn game, saw both of them out there running around. Giovanni was going through the pregame workouts. So you get the bye week, you get this week, a game, and then the week of Texas. And that's kind of a mini fall camp, which is necessary. Is a necessity that's necessary.
Necessarily necessary.
For both these guys, because you want them to actually get out there and get some movement, because you're going to throw them out there against Texas. That's, those a little bit more impactful bullets flying around. So start off with Eli. Eli can, it's not like we are dependent on Eli, and we're not dependent on Giovanni either, but they add another element of depth. So what do I expect? Get him out there, let him get some hits, test out that ankle. He was a high ankle sprain with Eli. A lot of us were, wondering when is this happening? And so with 3 weeks of kind of ramp up for Texas, great for him because he has not played football since the end of the season last year. With Giovanni, he gets hurt, in spring. So this gets him, he's been running for a few weeks now. Now he gets to put 100%, out there. So again, same type of thing. Let him get hit. Let him get hit where where it's not, obviously in practice, it's going to be a little bit more intense than against Kent State. But still in a real life game scenario, I expect that when he catches the first ball, that the crowd's going to go crazy. And so it's going to, like I said, you get a mini fall camp between the bye week, Kent State, and then the week of Texas.
Yeah, that's the good thing. And like you said, it's a mini fall camp. You get to see how he's feeling. You get to see if he's back to, I guess, his form that he was. Now, the good thing is that you've seen this man literally, like, he's been doing all kinds of workouts and stuff the last couple of weeks. Like, you saw him at the games dressed out the last two games. He was dressed out for Auburn. He was dressed out for Temple. I'm not sure if he was dressed out for Michigan. He may have been. But he was considered, like, Mateer's favorite target based upon the way everybody was talking. Like, in this play here, you just see him gone. Even as a defender hangs on him, and he's in there.
Shout out to Tattoo Baker. He posted this the other day, and quite a few folks jumped on it. This was not really a Javon Gibson clip. It was that look at him, and of course, a lot of people took the bait. So if you happen to get to have gotten that was from spring earlier in the year. So, but yes, gives him out there. To be honest with you, you've got. Hopefully Michael Hawkins is going to have a surrounding cast on offense better than maybe Mateer has had out there all season long.
Yeah, and every time you see John
the offensive lineman, get a little bit of extra time to get healthy, get all those nicks up and fixed up. This is with Mike. He's going to have the best offensive surroundings of any quarterback, this season at OU, which obviously is just John Mateer. So right. you get the full potential of this offense for the first time. And a lot of people were nervous. A lot of people were really scared right when that injury happened because it sounded like it might be an entire season's worth of injury. And yes, 100% there, Danny. But everybody's going to get excited to see Giovanni out there running around.
100%. And so that leads us right there to the quote-unquote proverbial elephant in the room. Jaden Ott was also mentioned by Brent Venables talked about him last week, and Ben Arbuckle talked about him in the presser. And now I put out a video kind of talking about him a little bit, and my theory has been, and I've had some people get in the comments, and I'm going to go ahead and call out some of these comments. I ain't seen any of y'all in here yet, which I understand everybody's push on, hey, we need to get something out of Ott. We brought him in. Obviously, we paid for him because he's one of the best backs in the portal at the time. So it's obviously, you have to pay for him. But the question has been, is he going to get out there and play? So here's what I have to say on, and I'm going to repeat what I said before. And like I said, I'm going to call out some of these kind of ridiculous comments I was hearing from people. I don't think Ott's lazy whatsoever. When he came in, the rumor was he put on like 20 pounds and he was a little bit faster than he was coming in. That was one of those they had to show him that it was okay because, as he was gaining weight, he's a little nervous about that. And they showed him, no, let me show you. Get out here. He ran, he followed the program, and he's like, oh, snap. Actually, I am faster. And I'm moving at a lot better than I thought I would. So they basically got him bulked up to be able to handle the SEC. Now, Coop, this has been my theory behind this, and I'm going to continue to maintain it as based upon what I've heard is his biggest thing has been that he had that injury coming in from Cal. For those that are initiated, you've heard this, but the uninitiated have not. But the bigger thing with him was that injury at Cal happened. He was concerned. This is Giovanni Gibson catch. Golly. Giant dude. And then the best part is the backflip that he gives you. Oh! It's a big dude. Ginormous human being that can do that. But anyway, he had that injury at Cal. And he talked about it when he first got here about how he thought he may have came back a little too early. Yep. And because he came back too early, he hampered his season last year. So he's felt like, I probably should have sat out a little bit, should have rested it, gone through rehab for a couple of weeks. And heck, his quarterback was Mendoza. So to be honest, I'm kind of surprised that they even let him play because Fernando Mendoza was balling.
He's okay.
Yeah. And so from there, he gets hurt in fall camp, shoulder dinged up. Granted, you get why his shoulder was dinged up. I'm not sure if y'all noticed when we played Michigan, they lost like 4 or 5 players in that game to our defense. Our defense is pretty ferocious. And again, if you want to play the brand of physical football that y'all want, there will be collateral damage. We will hurt our own teammates on occasion. Is what it is. That shoulder injury had that dude a little spooked. I'm going to just keep it a buck. I think that's what it was. I think the shoulder injury had him spooked, and he wasn't running at the ability like it was. So, no, I don't think Jaden Ott's lazy whatsoever. I think that he still works hard. I mean, even the players have said he's been working. It's more so the mental thing. And I think in the mental game, his problem was he was thinking about that shoulder. Now, granted, there's been pictures floating around of him telling people that he's 100% now and he's ready to go off this week. Kent State's the game to do it. Real talk. This is the game. If you are going to show us anything, Jaden Ott, this is the game that you should do it in. I don't care about what the blocking looks like whatsoever. It's Kent State. They gave up 498 yards against Florida State, and Gavin Sawchuk was out there cooking them. And Gavin Sawchuk's a really good running back. We brought you in over him. Now go out there and do the same thing. I need you to go out there. Now, you don't need to get 500 yards rushing by yourself, but I need you to give me a 100-yard game. If you give me 200 on like 4 carries, we'll love you long time. But understand, we need you to give us something, and this is the perfect game to do it. Off my soapbox, Coop, what are you thinking as you've been hearing more stuff come your direction? What's your thoughts around this whole situation with our boy, Jay Knott?
It's Kent State. And if we have anybody watching us from Kent State, you know who you are. So we're not going to be ridiculous about this. Yeah, he should go out there and he should be able to average, 6 yards a carry. And it does not matter, what that looks like, whether that is, a couple 4s and a couple 10s. You need to get out there and do it. Now, I had my freshman year up at Kansas, we had a guy who was awesome pitching in the cages, pitching during practice, and he got in the game, and that fastball disappeared. We got in a game, and he almost tipped his pitches. And our coach was a guy in Missouri, and he would say, listen, homie, I'm from the show me state. He's like, I don't want you to tell me, I want you to show me. And so I think that this is it. If you're going to make an impact and if you're going to do something for this team, this is not a deal to where it's a DeMarco Murray thing. It's not a deal where it's an Arbuckle, anything like that. This is he has to get out there and decide, all right, I want to make a difference. And you're seeing it now with Giovanni Gibson, Eli Bowen. Eli Bowen could have probably played the easy game, got himself really, really, into a good spot mentally, and set out for most of the season, put a couple games out there, and then done something else. Right now, I would say that if you're Jaden Ott, if you want to go to the NFL, and if you're worried about saving yourself for the next level, you got to show something here, because you're going to spend another year going through the transfer portal, going through potential injuries and stuff. And, if you run somewhere else, if you, head out to the Big 12 or, head out to the ACC and go play for a Syracuse or something, it's not going to do you any favors. So you're going to have a healthy offensive line. You're going to have a full healthy offense. Get out there and do it. Let's see it.
Let's see it. And Lori, this is exactly what I was talking about. Someone in the chat, he was afraid to get hit. You hurt your shoulder. Because a lot of your game is precedent on you trying to run somebody over. Yeah, it's kind of hard to feel comfortable with getting hit. And so that was my entire point, is similar to the ankle situation. He goes out there, hurts his shoulder again. He's done for the year. So I get where the mental block came in there. But I've heard Mateer said it after a practice. I've heard another one, I think it was Tory Blaylock mentioned it. I've heard actually it was Javonte Barnes that mentioned it. Like, he's in a better headspace, and so what that tells me is, okay, he's getting over his yips. He's all right with trying to hit somebody, taking a hit, and he knows that he'll be just fine. That's what you wanted anyway. You just need him to be okay with taking those hits. So I'm expecting Ott to give us something. Let's put it this way. If Ott does not give you anything this week, just don't expect him for the rest of the season. I expect a red shirt, potential transfer. Great example of that, Coop, is Mekhi Hughes up there at Oregon. Running back that came from Tulane. Dude was a beast at Tulane. 1,700 yards or something like that in his career over there. Actually, over 2,000 yards in his 2 seasons. Balling. Went to Oregon, ain't cracked the rotation, just redshirted. Now they're going to try to keep him, but at the same time, he just ain't cracked the rotation, and he probably won't ever crack the rotation. He was one of the dudes I felt like was a sleeper. Ahmad Hardy up there in Missouri. He was my other sleeper for a Doak Walker. He's out there balling for Missouri. So in that case, it appears that sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. So if it doesn't, he'll probably portal, but guess what? We still got Tory Blaylock, and he's much healthier than he was than the beginning of the season. So I expect him to also ball out in this game. We still got X-Rob, who's getting better from that hammy. He'll ball out. Still waiting to see when Taylor Tatum comes back healthy. He got hurt, I think, over the summer. Hopefully he gets back healthy. So I think we're fine. Still got Gabe Sawchuk. He's a pretty fast dude. We got backs. We just need somebody to step up and take it, get the spot right behind. And Javonte Barnes is still here, of course. We still got to love on him because that dude can block. I saw him crack somebody's neck. What was that? Was that the Auburn game? Yeah. Auburn game. Ooh, I need to play that video. I need to post that video on social. Just say this is appreciation for what Javonte Barnes provides to the team. He cracks dudes when he blocks. So anyway, Kent State. This is the game. I have the numbers. We're going to talk about those in a minute when we get close. When we go to breaking down the game of just how unfortunately bad they are. It's no shade to them. If y'all listen to Gabe and Teddy, I haven't listened to it yet. I'm actually kind of curious to what their coach has said. They're just not very good right now. But it's all rebuilding. So, yeah. Thank y'all for pulling up. Hit the like button if you're new to the channel. Subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars. Coop, let's talk our boy Michael Hawkins. And what do you expect from him in this game? Before we do that, though, let's pay this bill. Before we do that, we have to shout out our partner, Sleeper. Sleeper is a presenting sponsor here of the Sooner or Later Sports Show. And if you're not playing daily fantasy football with them, you are 100% missing out. Check this out here. It's very easy to do. Pick 2 players, pick more or less. And like, I'm going to go in here. Jared Goff on Monday night is at half a passing yard. It's one of the promos. So they're giving you freebies to get you going in the game. But we're going to look at the NFL and we're going to look at the Sunday night slate. You got Patrick Mahomes, more or less, on 29.5 rushing yards. We're going to take more. Plus, there's a boost on it. Then we're going to look at Derrick Henry. So that's Monday night. We're going to look at some more Sunday night games. Malik Neighbors, anytime touchdown. I think the Chiefs can't stop him. We're going to pick more on that one. And then we're going to ride with Travis Kelce with no touchdowns in this game. Why? Because, it makes sense to go after him. You could do the same thing too. Check out, download the Sleeper app, use our code UNFAIR, and you'll get 100% match up to $100 on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. All right, Coop. Thank y'all again. Pulling up. Hit the like button. New to the channel, subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars. We're going to jump into talking Michael Hawkins. Coop, how you feeling about our boy Hawk preparing for this game?
This is the easiest assignment that he's had while at Oklahoma. We all forget that he was a freshman last year.
That's a fair point.
Not ever expected to go out there and win the quarterback job at any point. He gets thrown in a pretty awful situation. Busted up offensive line, no wide receivers. Down by 3 touchdowns against Tennessee. He shows out. He does a great job. Now you get to go be the first freshman since the 80s to go on the road for your first start. And what happens? He opens up play with, the big touchdown run. He ends it with a big touchdown pass, lets his defense do the rest, gets a road win. He never got a Maine. He never got a Houston. He never got a Kent State to play against. So he has only faced really good teams in his tenure. You got to think about it. He played Auburn, still had a great defense last year. Texas, South Carolina. And so now you get to roll out here against this team. He's going to be able to do whatever he has the capability to do. I don't think that you're going to have a lot of heat on him. You're going to want to probably loosen him up a little bit, get some quarterback run, but it's going to be like, what you picture yourself doing when you're dreaming about playing college football, going for big runs, throwing big plays. And so I'm really, really excited to see, his talent up against the Kent State talent. There's no comparison. And so, but then like we said, you're going to have the team is really, really focused in on starting some running. So I'm excited to see what he gets out there and does. The wide receivers alone should make him more excited this year.
Yeah, that's 100% true. He's got everything. It's a lot better situation. And the bad part for him last year was because of the injuries that we dealt with last season. They were really ones that were truly detrimental to a quarterback, like losing offensive linemen. That really hurts your quarterback's capabilities. It's kind of hard to do your job if you're running for your life the entire time because everybody is hurt. And then if you don't have anybody to throw the ball to, that also is kind of tough to do. And so, as you said, Coop, I think that he'll be fine, especially against Kent State. And truth be told, because of how really good we are on pass blocking, I think he'd be fine even against Texas if we had to play him. Like, just being truth be told. Our pass blocking is really good this year. Like, really good.
It is very good. And let's keep it a buck. Kent State, guys, we could throw out Whit Neubauer, and this team's going to score 50 points.
You can throw me out there with score 50 points with my bum knee and everything off the airplane.
I feel you. Now, against Texas, I think Texas is averaging, like the average offensive rank is somewhere in the hundreds. So they have not yet seen, and you can even throw in the Ohio State game. They have seen nothing but ass on offense, Texas' defense, that is. And this is going to be this is going to be the first opportunity for them. And listen, you go on the road, you're breaking in new quarterback with Julian Sayin. They held him, in check pretty well. They didn't have to do much, and Ohio State's kind of started rolling since then. But since that Ohio State game, it has been a bunch of K-State level offenses going out there. And Stats by Popo, shout out to him. He was sharing some stuff with us. We're not getting into Texas too much. I apologize. But, Michael Hawkins has himself basically, 3 weeks of preparation for him to go out there and find success. And I think between the elevation on the offensive line, the elevation for people around him, he's going to get the chance. Now, we never got to see Hawkins really get in rhythm on offense at all. Auburn, Texas, South Carolina, there was no opportunity for rhythm. So I'm excited to see what happens when he gets some rhythm against K-State, gets some confidence, and all of a sudden starts going, man, I can do these things. Yeah. Because that has yet to happen yet. So really excited, really, really excited to see a complete freak of an athlete get rolling.
Yeah, because when you look at this here, let's talk. Go ahead and start talking Kent State. Thank y'all for pulling up. Hit the like button. New to the channel, subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars. When you look at this Kent State game here, though, Coop, look at these numbers. Shout out to our guy, Odessi / Stats by Popo. He's going to keep Popo name. I don't care what he thinks. He doesn't get to choose this. But look at this, man. They've given up 176 points. They give up 44 points a game. 115th in third down defense. Everybody converts on them. 76th in red zone defense. 133rd in not only SP plus defensive rank and defense efficiency, but 136th in FEI defense, which takes out all the garbage time stuff. Dog. Look, they are awful. They've given up 1,000 yards rushing this season in 4 games.
half that in one game. But hey, listen, it's a sieve. This is a live scrimmage. There was more resistance in the spring talent show that we had this past year. So I 100% feel like we're going to get an opportunity to see a lot of success. You're coming to the crib. People are going to be excited. These guys are well rested after the bye week. You're prepped and you're getting in, you're getting out. So I think that each player can say, what do I want to do today? And it's attainable on offense. On defense, we're going to take whatever we want.
Yep. This is what I'm seeing out of this, man. What they're giving up, team defense past 120, like in this is a game where Hawk should walk in and, like I said, he should be able to dominate. Like, and this is the bad part. When I look at this, and I even said this over on Locked On with me and John, that to me, this year was definitely this is a do-over for Hawk from last year. Mainly because, like you said, Coop, he walked in and went straight to Auburn. Like after the Tennessee game, he didn't really get a warm-up. That Tennessee game wasn't a warm-up. Tennessee had a really good defense last year. But he had to walk in, and then he goes, his first starts out in Auburn on the road, Jordan-Hare, and he goes out there and he walks away with a W. That's massive, and that's all that matters. This is now the game that he needed last year for a true tune-up.
Yeah.
Everything will be in front of you. Layups are everywhere. Heck, it's crazy because flipping Kent State's giving up more yards than we've gained this year. They just give it up. And we actually have a solid offense. That's the crazy part. And then when you take in consideration the opposite side of it, our defense versus their offense, buddy, is it going to be some problems for them? Their offense doesn't do anything. They don't get third downs, 127th. Red zone, 107th. SP plus 128th. Like they're ranked in basically the hundreds everywhere. They've only scored 73 points this season. And, of course, we've given up half of that roughly. Literally, roughly half of that. We've given up 36 points total. They play a lot of good teams, and they just don't score. They don't do much. And what we got to do is, I mean, they've gotten more yards than we've given up in passing this season, which is pretty fascinating. Our goal to go out here is to hold them to less than what we gave up against Illinois State. That's the defense job.
Yeah.
I think we can do it, though.
This is game 5 for them. Is that right? So game 5, we've already seen when our defense is playing, we've seen 11 bodies go down.
Yep.
So I expect to see more of that. I expect to see our defense really rack up, and it's not malicious. It's just those guys they're freaks of nature. I mean, they play hard, snap in, snap out. They have that throwing the goose egg up there as a goal still, and I promise you that they've got goals for this game. Maybe it's a 10, maybe hitting that 10 sacks for a legitimate 10 sacks this time. Maybe that's it. Also,
9.
Still no turnovers. Still no turnovers. So you got to think that this is a team where hopefully, stay and play within yourself, but let's catch the interceptions. Let's see if, how many times you think Boganowski's going to try to put his helmet on a football this weekend. So, guys, it's Kent State. I don't think that there is much to talk about. There's no glazing that you can do. This team is not good. So when that's the case, you got to go out there and just challenge yourself to excellence. And we've seen them go on the road at Temple and do it. You've seen them do it against Illinois State. So the only points that we gave up against those two teams were result of the offense turning the ball over in our own red zone. So I think that is that's going to be it. Now, another goal is to get in and get out healthy. So I think that's a big goal, because the last thing you need to do is have somebody in there grinding a little bit too long and roll an ankle, get rolled up on in the third quarter when they shouldn't be out there. We heard a lot of people get frustrated that we lost R. Mason Thomas in the third quarter against who was it, Temple. Maybe he shouldn't even been up there with us being up 30 points. So people will not want to see that. So if you want to see 75, 80 something or something like that, it's still on the table, but we want to see some of the backups do that stuff, because we want to get the starters in and out.
Yeah, we need to go ahead, and that's exactly what our focus needs to be. Is we need the young pups to go out there and do their cooking, because why? It's time to see everybody else ball out too. We need to see what the rest of the players are capable of doing, what they are, what they're here for, and pretty excited about that. But this game, man, I would love to break it down, for real. It's nothing to break down, folks. Just keeping it a buck. Sean Lewis ain't running that team right now. They're not out there giving problems to Georgia on the road. This is not a air raid. No, they just don't have it. They don't have the horses with this new staff right now. They just don't have it. Will they one day? That's always a possibility. But today is not the day. And that's okay. We'll see.
Maybe if Mike Gundy goes and coaches them next.
That would be so funny. Wouldn't that be a good one for him?
Mike Gundy, Kent State coach. You heard it here.
I think that would be actually a good hire by Kent State, is to go ahead and snag him. He would do good things for them. But yeah, it's this was the cupcake. Some folks have had 3 of those so far and struggled on offense. We won't point out any fingers, but this is the cupcake that you get. Illinois State. It's a cupcake on paper. For us, that team has been scoring close to 50 points a game since they played us. They're now going to go play. I think it's South Dakota State. I think that they're for that. I guess whatever the division of football. That's going to be one of the bigger games of the season. And so, but this one, you just go out there, you challenge yourself to specific goals, and you go attain those goals. That is it. All right. Thank y'all, of course, for pulling up, please hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars. Coop, it is time to talk a little bit more recruiting. Last week or so, we've been seeing an influx. You got 2 in-state guys on the 2027 class. You also get a corner in Michael McCreary. What was that, yesterday? 2 days ago? Craziness.
Yesterday?
2 days ago. It was 2 days ago. Craziness. I think it was Monday. And now, the 2027 right now, we have the basically number 1 class right now. So looking at this, number 1 class in 2027. I mean, it's early, so I don't really, do I count it that way? Not really, but it's there. Caden Penny, Cooper Hackett, 2 big-time offensive linemen. Penny is actually listed as an interior guy now, but he's number 14 in the country.
Yeah.
Number 1 in the state, number 2 in his position, and then Cooper Hackett is 29th in the country, number 2 in the state, number 4 in his position at tackle. He's an actual tackle. Penny, I think, is going to play interior. Then, of course, Damari DeZern, which we saw after the Michigan game he committed. He was just like, yeah, I want in on this. And then you got Michael McCreary, who just committed. And then you did the interview with Luke Wilson, which came out of nowhere, him committing. But adding another big corner in McCreary, who is 6 foot, 170, and solid player, man. What are you thinking about this 27 and how how we are quickly moving on this?
Well, 27, I mean, let's start with Caden Penny. Right now, Jay, if you guys have not seen, number 1 high school in the rankings in the country is Bixby, Oklahoma.
Bixby.
And that's number 1 in the country. That's not number 1 in the Southwest or whatever. So this guy is, I've heard a lot of people say that, yes, Cooper Hackett was slightly rated in front of him in a couple different systems because of more projection. But these 2 guys not only are both best players in Oklahoma, they became good friends here recently too. And so some fun stories were kind of out there that neither of them had told the other one that this was about to go down. And so they committed within 2 hours of each other.
Yes.
And then on the 247 ratings here today, I do believe that Penny actually shot up in front of Cooper Hackett.
He did.
So he is a dude who is going to probably be an inside guy. Think more Ryan Foje. You've got you've got options. Like, you've got some capabilities for him on the outside, but more projection on the inside. Really, really strong dude. He starts that offense and he erases folks. Cooper Hackett was a guy who got so tied up into a lot of the issues with what's going down in Lubbock, with them throwing bags around, and we will just keep it what is public information. But he always wanted to be here. After that commitment, he was here 2 more times on campus. One of his visits, his family was having a hard time leaving, and he went home. He made the thoughts. He looked at what we had presented to him and his family, and it was going to be hard to not get him here in Oklahoma. Now, am I surprised that it happened as early for both of these kids? Yes. If it would have happened later in the year, November, December, January, something like that, that would have made total sense. But these guys are not only wanting to be here, but Cooper Hackett also wants to take the reins and start being a big recruiter too. And so for a dude out of a Fort Gibson, Oklahoma, a lot of people have seen him in camps. A lot of people have seen how many coaches have flocked around him. So he carries some weight there. And then with Caden Penny, his team's just going to go out there and win like their 47th straight crystal ball in high school. So those are 2 big gets.
Massive gets. And as y'all wonder, can we recruit linemen? And it appears that Bill Beatonbow has done a really good job of getting people's attention, and we're going to continue that. Plus, the best part, guys, okay, Prep Agenda. He's our Caden Penny's our first Bigsby commit this century.
I might go back on that. I feel like there was another lineman But I mean, yeah. Listen, that's a mile and a half this way for me. So I fully expect that that to be true. I know a lot of their guys, they're coached really, really well. They out scheme you and they out coach you. And we've seen a lot of the family. What is it? The Presley family was a bunch of kids from Bixby, and they've kind of gone the Oklahoma State route. So this is the first one, and they've had a lot of big guys. I think that they also had an offensive lineman. My wife actually was his teacher, and I want to say he's at Auburn. So he will probably be a guy who plays some next year. So they've been producing out some D1 talent here recently. So it's good to finally get in there.
Yeah, something we need. We need some good offensive linemen, and we need to continue to grow that pipeline. And so it appears that 27 class is going to look lovely in 29. They're going to look lovely in 29. Now, granted, if Cooper is as good as we think he is in 27, you might see him out there next to Fasusi and Fogier. It's always a possibility. During their senior season, junior season, basically
junior
potentially
season,
their junior season, which would potentially be their last year here. I totally expect them to be gone. And honestly, I see the 27 class as a class that will probably see a lot of young players play. You're probably going to see a lot of freshmen play because 26 class is improving. We got some good solid pieces in there, but it's not as high as we would like. 27 ends up being a top 5 class like it's projected to be, and other players we know that are interested. That could be a lot of players that we're like, yeah, we want you on the field within the 2 deep. The team will get a little bit younger, but you'll still have veterans in front, which will be a good thing, which means we'll be able to be sustainable. That's the hard part, is making sure you can sustain levels of depth and have freshmen that can contribute, or at least you feel comfortable with contributing. To me, you may actually get that there. So I'm here for it, man. Good job on the recruiting from the staff. They're putting some stuff together. Let us know what y'all think. Hop in the comments, of course. We want to hear all of y'all's thoughts. We have very many questions in here. I've seen some stuff around Ott. We've already talked about Ott. We've talked about Hawkins. Who comes in for Hawkins if we get enough? It's definitely going to be Neubauer. Definitely put Witt out there. I think Witt will be fun to see.
I'm ready to see. Him. Dude is he's big and he's got a cannon. And so would love to see that because, I mean, worst case scenario for him, can he be in the competition next year if Mateer moves on? He wants to be able to put some stuff on film one way or the other, whether that's sticking around, whether that's, locking up the number 2 spot. He's not, this isn't the situation like a few years ago where we had a bunch of jokers, back behind Dylan Gabriel. Like you've got some quarterback talent behind John Mateer right now. And so, I expect it too. Like if he gets in, they'll let him sling it around a little bit.
And he was fun to watch at Mercer. I went back and I did a video on it, and I went back and watched him play the Alabama game. I was like, okay, he's not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad at all. I was pleasantly surprised at how good he was. So, hey, we'll see what Kuzieski can turn him into, because that seems to be the talk of town. Has been Coach Kuz has been the dude that's been really helping shape Michael Hawkins. I saw his dad even tweeted about it, and y'all know his dad's very vocal. He tweeted about it a little bit, and so I like seeing that, Hawkins Sr. is in on it. He likes the mentorship and the teaching they gave him and all of that. So shout out to that. But let's talk some weekend games, Coop. Let's wrap it up with that. I think that'll be a fun conversation. I think y'all pulling up, hit the like button again. New to the channel, subscribe, rate, review us, give us 5 stars. These are the games we got on the slate in the SEC, Coop. Of course, us versus Kent State at 3 o'clock on SEC Network. I'll be back. Thank goodness I'll be back home in time. Son has soccer games over the weekend. Were you going to that game, Coop?
Yeah, so I'm actually taking my daughter and my father-in-law, my daughter's first OU game, and so no soccer this weekend. She actually has had somebody else call and try to pick her up to come play on their team, and she said, "No, Dad, I want to go to the game." So her favorite player is still Darius Afalava, who is still recovering from the knee. So I'm gonna try to get her get out there and say hey to him, but we will be there. And it's not going to be 100 degrees.
I know, right? That's the good part, is that it's not going to be like, we're not going to like burn. You're not going to burn or cook out there. That's always the plus. Like I said, I will be at a soccer match. I'll be driving home after the soccer match, and then I'll be on the couch watching the game and being able to go live right afterwards to talk about it. I just need to see that all 22 view and really start looking or whatnot. But Georgia, Kentucky is interesting to me because, yes, it's in Athens. Yes, Kentucky does not even have a real. I don't know if Cutter Boley is really a quarterback, because Calzada just did exactly what we expect him to do, to like be really bad. But Kentucky be a pain in Georgia's butt. And then after Georgia lost to Bama, this should be the game where they bounce back and they attack. This has got to be the bounce back game for them, right? Or am I crazy on this?
No, you're right, because this isn't a. I mean, Georgia kind of getting knocked off the rocker. That defense did not look good, and if your defense looks suspect up against this Kentucky offense. I mean, I think this Kentucky offense isn't like in the past where you had somebody who was just obnoxious. I mean, they are worst. I think that Kentucky's quarterback is 2 spots behind Arch Manning as like the third or the weakest one in the league, and so you gotta think that this is a big opportunity for Georgia to come out, handle some business. And it's interesting, Jay, because I also think that, and I'm just checking here. Bear with me as we do some very top-notch podcasting here. Georgia's got to go to Auburn next week, and so you've got two real pesky games that you should win these things both comfortably, and you want to go out there and show everybody that, hey, we still got some clout to our name. And it's hard to do that against Kentucky, because Kentucky, they just want to put you in a phone booth and just want to fight with you and just want to test your mettle and test your resolve, especially from their defensive side of the ball. So, I mean, Georgia should cover that line. You got to clean up some stuff. That defense needs to go out there and expect to show that they still have some talent out there, because I mean, Alabama kind of beat them up.
They really did. But it was a good game. That's the only thing that's good about it. And I feel bad for the freshman there at Georgia. Can't think of his name for the life of me right now. I'm not going to even really think about it. But I feel bad for him because he dropped that wide open touchdown. Like, dang, man. True freshman, man. Right at the middle. Perfectly thrown. Right in the and he dropped it. True freshman, man.
One of the worst drops I think I've ever seen, because I mean, they go take the lead right there, and I think they ended up punting the ball. So I mean, you want to give that guy, most of the time in those situations, you want to try to go get that guy the ball again, another opportunity to go. So yeah, but this should be a nice stomping. It's probably going to be a game to where everybody's going to kind of have an eyeball on it, going into the late third quarter. To where Kentucky's just kind of hanging out. But if you're Georgia and you really are still a bad boy in this league, you need to go be up by 20 plus at halftime.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm just gonna be. I don't think that happens. I have nothing against Georgia, nothing against them, or anything. I do not see a situation where they win this game by 21 points. I just don't see it. I see them winning the game. I don't know if they cover the spread. I think they hit right at the spread. 17, 18, 20. Kentucky's always a pain in their butt.
Just like they are to Ole Miss.
Georgia. Yeah, it's just what it is. So,
same thing against Ole Miss.
Yeah, it's a pain in their butt. Just the team is just annoys them. Okay.
Like Kansas State. Kansas State to us back in the Big 12.
It did not matter. We just always were going to have a fight with Kansas State on our hands.
Yeah. Next one, of course, Texas and Florida. Texas fans are mad at me. Texas is a 6.5-point favorite. They're on the road right now based upon ESPN's bet. Texas fans are mad at me today, Coop, because so the question that was asked, and it was a legitimate question, it was, out of these games, which ones are more likely to have an upset? And so I ranked the 4. Florida, Vanderbilt. Why did that pop up like that? I hate when this does that. Florida, Vanderbilt. Then I picked Mississippi State, and then I picked Florida State. Because Mississippi State plays against A&M on the road, and then Florida State hosts Miami, who's a 4-point favorite. Which, truth be told, I probably should put Florida State at the top because they're at home. I think there's a better chance of them getting that upset. But I think Florida has a good chance in this one, mainly because both of them are like borderline mirror images of each other. I do believe, and I give it to Pate on this, I do believe that, I mean, both of them offense-wise, especially third down conversion, are basically roughly the same teams. I think that Florida would probably be 3-1 if they had Texas' schedule. They probably would have lost to Ohio State and then won the other 3 cupcake games. And Texas would probably be at least 2-2, if not 3-1. They may have actually beat South Florida, who surprisingly is a solid team. But the spread's only 6.5 for a reason. Texas is supposed to be a double-digit favorite at home, so I get that. This is going to be an interesting game. Truth be told. I need to see whose offense is going to work, because remember, Florida threw 5 interceptions and LSU couldn't convert on it. Now, that may be a, indictment on LSU's offense, but have we seen that much better from Texas right now?
It's in Texas, it's more than one issue that they got to get solved. They got to get solved the offensive line. They got to get solved wide receivers catching the ball. They got to get solved Arch Manning not looking like he's new to football. They've got good running backs, so they're able to run it. Florida just doesn't give it up a lot. And, I mean, I think I saw, what was it? I was trying to look back here and find these stats. But Texas has thrived off of the other team turning the ball over. That's what has been their saving grace. Listen, I mean, no matter what kind of troll you are, like, you got fans booing Arch Manning at home against a cupcake.
Booing at home against a cupcake.
That didn't come from OU fans. Didn't come from A&M fans. Didn't come from Notre Dame fans. That came from y'all's fans. And
we did nothing in this situation.
And it's even more embarrassing that y'all are supposed to win the national championship and Arch supposed to win the Heisman Trophy. Neither of those things are happening. So, but Texas is, the teams that Texas has played and moving forward, they turn the ball over a lot less. Now, perhaps Florida aside. But this is going to be a low-scoring game. It's going to come down to who makes those turnovers. Lagway went out. He didn't make any turnovers this last week. They still got ran. But they might be playing for Napier's job. They might be playing for each other. Napier came out and said that he's seen the look in Lagway's eye. I think that's called being tired from practicing because your butt didn't do it all summer long. And so we'll see what happens. Is it going to be a game to where, in the swamp, they smell blood in the water with that Texas offense? They're going to have to make some plays because that Texas defense, I mean, even though that they've faced an average of 100 plus, in offensive efficiency, it's a bad offense at Florida versus a good defense versus bad teams in Texas. And then it's going to be a struggling offense in Texas versus a defense that's done well. I mean, Florida's done pretty well against LSU. They did pretty well against Miami. And until their offense put them in bad spots, time after time. So, This might be one that you got to be a fan of the team to watch, unless you're just eating some popcorn, watching, and having a blast.
Yeah. Kind of gonna be an interesting one to say.
Going to be good to watch the message boards during that game, though.
Oh boy, I know the message. That's what I plan on doing. Like I'm going to be. I will be on the road. I should be home by then, because I think our game will be done about about an hour drive. So I'll be on the couch watching this game on the TV with our game up as well. I actually may have this on the iPad in front of me so I can look closely at it. That's gonna be interesting. Okay. Vanderbilt and Bama. I'm going to be honest, dog. Look, that spread to me looks way too high. At best, this should be a 5 to 6 pointer. And I say that not because of the reason why the spread's here is because of the talent discrepancy. But Alabama coming off the high of beating Georgia for the second year in a row to play against Vanderbilt, to me, is just another recipe for disaster. You got Clark Lee going up against Kalen DeBoer, in which Kalen DeBoer has kryptonite. We've seen him have kryptonite against certain types of coaches and certain types of teams. And he also has the kryptonite for others. I mean, he's like 7 or 8-0 against Kirby Smart, Dan Lanning, and Sarkisian, which is bananas. Bananas in a way of, somebody had said this before that, I forgot who it was, but they are saying that DeBoer winning the game against Georgia was actually worse for him. It's actually a worse thing than it's kind of a bad thing instead of a good thing. And they say that because it proves that he can do it. So why are you losing to Florida State first week of the season? Why are you losing to Oklahoma when Oklahoma is literally down? Like it hurts him in every capacity that it's like, dog, you should not be losing these games. Like, there's no excuse. And so, like, it's becomes coaching malpractice at a certain point against certain teams. And so, Pavia's walking there with confidence. He knows it's going to be loud, and he loves that. He just relishes in it. He got Johnny Manziel in his ear, and Manziel's teaching him, hey, don't do the stupid stuff I did.
Yeah.
Go out there and be that dude, but be smart about it. Got me just like, hey, man, Pavia is going to do whatever he can to help them on the offensive side get points on the board on a regular basis. I'm curious to what Clark Lee's defense is going to look like. This game's going to be fun. And it sucks because it's the exact same freaking time as Texas and Florida.
I got some fun stats for you here. So, Alabama has a great pass defense. I think they're number 2 in the SEC in pass defense. But Alabama in run defense is 14 out of 16. Vanderbilt in rushing offense, number 2 behind Missouri. So Alabama has not shown a propensity to stop the run. And that's what Vanderbilt wants to do. Once everything is set up. They are okay if Pavia throws for 163 yards and 2 touchdowns because they know that they're going to get 2 on the ground. So this sets up very, very, very well because I can promise you one thing. Vanderbilt believes that they can go in there and win. 100%. It is not like I think we feel good about winning. They believe that they can go in there and win. And I promise you that Vandy hype, if that happens, is going to be... Which one's going to be higher? The Fire DeBoer or Vandy hype if Vandy goes in there and wins?
Good point.
And what are you playing for right now if you're Alabama? Like, yes, this is kind of like the Oklahoma game. They start getting down. We saw no fight out of that team at all. And so I have a very, very good feeling about this game. Vandy is kind of like right in the middle of the pack as far as pass defense. And so this is going to be a fun one. And if this is a close game, Vandy knows that they can go in there and win it. And you start letting those kind of things creep in. If you're Alabama, you're at home. Kalen DeBoer starts getting a little bit more, squeamish because you lose this game and you start 3-2 after what happened last year at the end of the season. There's going to be a lot of folks in Alabama calling for Lane Kiffin, calling for anybody to come and save that squad.
This is the crazy part about this, man. I'm looking at this SEC numbers for Vanderbilt, and they're 5th in the conference in total offense at 494 yards. The thing about them is they're 2nd at 223 rushing yards a game, dog. Like, they run the ball. 18 touchdowns on the ground, which is crazy. They run the ball. Scoring offense, they're 2nd in the conference at 49 points per game. Yes, inflated by the 70-point game, but hey, guys.
They still scored it.
Yeah, they're doing it. So, with that being said, it appears that this is the one problem that we know that Alabama has had. They got a really good pass defense. They lead the conference with only giving up 113 passing yards a game, with us being number 2 right behind them in passing yards. But they give up 160 rushing yards a game.
Like I said, 14th in the SEC. This is Alabama's not doing very well at what Vanderbilt wants to do to fuel their everything.
Bama doesn't do the things to stop Vanderbilt from doing the things that Vanderbilt wants to do. So we'll see what it looks like, man. I'm excited about that one. That's going to be a fun one. The last one here, of course, is going to be the Mississippi State and Texas A&M game, which will be a fun game to watch at night. A&M are 14.5-point favorites. That Mississippi State game, the Cowbell Bowl against Tennessee, was so much fun last week. I will be watching and floating between all of these games. That was a fun game. So much fun watching Mississippi State and Texas A&M. Y'all should be definitely watching that game at night, just because that game does not deserve to be on the SEC network. That should have been shifted, should have been flexed to where we could watch it on the national telly somewhere. That's going to be a fun game.
Listen, Auburn's offense last week had nothing. Less than nothing. Nothing was working for them. And so you look at this right here, and Mississippi State's not going to be that same situation. They're going to score on offense. They're going to go out there and they're going to do some stuff. And if you think that Mississippi State's not okay with playing with noise around them, then you've never been to one of them games. And so they don't care. They don't care how many male cheerleaders are out there, shooting fake pistols and whatnot. They're going to go out there and they're try to go. So it's Mississippi State has gotten better on defense, and that's why they held in there last week. So could this be a letdown game for A&M? It was hard fought. They had to keep pressing and pressing and pressing and pressing. Now I do expect a couple of those guys. That Craver kid, he's good. He's
Mario
very
Craver's
good.
a beast. Yes,
he's good, and so I expect the A&M offense to be out there shooting it. Also, I still think I'm going to go and pick Texas A&M on this game. But if you look up and they're in overtime, or somebody's trying to run the clock out, A&M's trying to run the clock out and doing everything they can to survive. I mean, don't be too surprised by that. I think that line's also a little crazy there too.
Yeah, I think that's a lot higher than I would have anticipated. But hey, it's going to be fun. So we got some fun games this weekend. We'll be talking about all of them. So thank y'all for pulling up. Hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, rate, review, give us 5. We're going to go ahead and ride up out of here. And shout out to our people over there at Sleeper for sponsoring the channel. Make sure you check them out. Use our promo code UNFAIR, and they will match your first deposit up to $100. Plus, they'll give you $20 for free just for signing up. Use our promo code UNFAIR. And as our guy RDS likes to remind y'all, get in the water, etc. We will chop it up with each and every single one of y'all next couple days. Peace.